Hey guys, it's Sarah. Okay, long time no see. As you can tell, I'm very sick. I haven't posted a video in over a month at this point. I've just been dying. I've been dying. And every time I wanted to film, I didn't feel well or I was doing something else. And so now here we are and I'm pre-filming a ton of videos, and I'm gonna say this in every video, but I'm sorry that I'm sick and stuffy and probably not my best, but here I am. And today I'm bringing to you my May wrap up. Let me get out my trusty Goodreads because y'all know I can't keep track of what I read. Also, it's like 1,000 degrees in my room right now, so if I faint, like, I apologize, but like, that's just where we're at right now. So I managed to finish 3 books in May, and all of them were on audio. I just haven't been physically reading lately. I've just been listening to books when I'm at work or when I'm driving, and that's just what I can manage right now. That's all I can say. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with reading audiobooks, but sometimes when I do wrap-ups and they're all audiobooks, I feel bad. I don't know. Reading is a weird environment. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm also sick, so please forgive any rambling or sweating or whatever. I think I'm going insane. Anyway, the first book I finished was The Girl Before by J.P. Delaney. This was a very interesting read for me because I didn't like it initially. Like, I was into it, but I wasn't really, and I didn't feel very pressed to finish it very quickly. And I actually took a break and read something else before even coming back to this. But basically, it's about these 2 women in 2 different time periods, which kind of makes sense because it's called The Girl Before. But anyway, there's present day Jane and there's past Emma. And both of them move into this house called 1 Fulgate Street. And it's kind of a cool concept. Basically, it's this really like state-of-the-art modern house, but there's a bunch of rules surrounding whoever lives in it from the architect. And so both of them kind of enter into the house in these different timelines, and they both have things that have happened to them that have led them to this point to wanting to live in like a very safe state-of-the-art home. I don't really want to give too much details on that because I feel like that's just something you kind of learn as you're reading, because I went in not really knowing much about the 2 women. But it's really interesting because one of them ends up being murdered in the house. I don't want to say which one, but that kind of plays a factor into the mystery, and the architect himself, who has all the rules in the house, is a really weird guy. And like I said, initially I wasn't super into it. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I do think the narration was good. I liked all of the audiobook narrators. Michael's FaceTiming me. Hey, baby.
Oh, you look so pretty. Not that you don't usually look pretty, but you're dressed up. Yeah.
I'm filming.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll talk to you later.
Say bye.
Bye. Wait, you're all beautiful. Have a lovely...
It's okay, I'm at the beginning of the video anyway, so we probably shouldn't say bye. I really enjoyed the narration of the book. It was narrated by 2 different women. They're both English. I liked their accents. It was very soothing. But I'd have to say that it was very evident to me that this book was written by a man. I looked it up to confirm, but a lot of times when I was reading, I didn't feel like it was very authentically female. Usually, if I don't like a book, I pretty much don't like it until the end, but I really liked the conclusion of this mystery. I saw a lot of criticism on Goodreads about it, but I personally really enjoyed it. I really liked what happened. It felt very like Lifetime, Hallmark movie mystery, and I really liked the drama of it, and I would like to see it as a movie. Like a movie I'd watch on Netflix, not like pay at the theater, but I still would enjoy it. It was fun, and I liked the ending, and I liked the way the mystery wrapped up, and I think I was gonna give this book like maybe like a low 3 stars, and then just through the ending and my enjoyment of the book just increased so much, I gave it 4 stars, and I really liked it. The next book I read is possibly my favorite book that I've read all year. I don't know yet, the year's not over, but it was so good. And that was The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. I don't even know how to describe this book. It was just so good. I could not stop listening to it. I think I listened to it over the span of like max like 4 or 5 days just by breaking it up in different things that I was doing, but I loved it so much. It was probably one of the only audiobooks that I read this month where like I would actively take time out of my day to listen, not just when I was doing other things, like genuinely like wanted to know what happened. I loved the writing style, I loved the atmosphere, I loved the story. It was so good, it was so dark, it was so creepy, it was just such a good thriller. Anyway, let me describe what it's about so you guys can know what I'm rambling about. Basically, the story follows this girl Lane in 2 different periods of her life, when she's 15 and also when I think she's 25. And basically her mother commits suicide when she's 15 and she has to go live on her family estate with her grandmother grandparents who she's never met. Her mom ran away at a young age, and so she didn't really know much about her extended family, but obviously after her mother's passing, she has to go live with them, and she spends the summer with them before, you know, getting into trouble and doing her own thing. And then 10 years later, her cousin Allegra, who she met that summer, goes missing, and so at age 25 she has to go back to Roanoke, which is the name of the estate, and try to figure out what happened to her cousin. I saw a lot of criticism on Goodreads because a lot of people thought the book was too dark and a little bit twisted, but I kind of feel like that just goes hand in hand with the genre of thrillers. I personally enjoyed it so much. I've never been through anything like these girls, but like it was just so mind-bendy and like fucked up, basically. I definitely don't recommend it to people who would have issue with that. Like if you don't like dark things or just kind of, like I said, fucked up things, then don't read this book. But I just loved it so much. Like, it was so good. And the last book I listened to was Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. It's really hard to describe this book because it has so many perspectives, but to sum it up, basically it follows this really small town in England, and they have this really big river that they call the Drowning Pool because a lot of people have died in it over the years, and this woman named Nell is discovered in the Drowning Pool, and they want to figure out what happened to her, obviously, because, you know, maybe foul play and all that. And so her sister has to come from London back to the small town that they grew up in to answer police questions and kind of figure out what happened. And then Nell left behind a 15-year-old daughter who also is confused by what happened. And also earlier in the year, the 15-year-old daughter's best friend committed suicide in the Drowning Pool. And so there's just a lot of mystery and intrigue surrounding this river and why people are dying. And so basically that's pretty much it. There's a lot more characters to mention, but it was just so many people that it's hard to sum it up without giving away a lot about the story. I didn't hate this book, but I also didn't love it. I liked the writing style in the sense that it was addictive and I was able to finish it fairly quickly, and I liked what I was listening to, and I for the most part liked all of the narrators that they chose because there was literally like 5 different narrators because there were so many different perspectives. But I think because there were so many characters to follow, it was a little convoluted, and I didn't really like the resolution of the mystery. There was just too many things happening because there was like a lot of flashbacks from Nell's sister, from like when she was a teenager and when she used to live in the town and her experiences with the Drowning Pool. But then there was also like the police officer's perspective and the daughter's perspective, and the daughter thinking about her friend who committed suicide and then figuring out why her friend committed suicide, and then figuring out like who maybe killed Nell. And it was just very bogged down, I think, by the amount of people, and there were a few characters too that I felt were a little unnecessary. So I ended up giving this, I think, about like 3.5 stars because I just didn't really get it or like it that much in the end. But I don't think it was a bad reading experience. Like, if you're interested in thrillers, it's a really quick read, and if you don't really mind a resolution that you're just kind of like, eh, then I'd say go for it. But that's pretty much it for my May wrap up. Let me know down below what you read in May, what you enjoyed, what should be on my radar. Thank you all so much for watching. You're all beautiful. Have a nice day. Time passes by, I feel so low. Searching for bases, covering up the hole.